Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am so glad that you are here. Oh my goodness, I have enjoyed this series so much. We have been talking about self-care and that routine of getting things all together as we've entered into September and that focus into the last quarter of the year. And so we have been talking, if you haven't been with us already, the last few weeks, we started the series and we were talking a little bit about why we wanted to create those habits. Why is it important to have routines and schedules put into place, and why is it important for us? And then last week we were talking a little bit about that evening routine and how when we have that routine in place, it sets us up for the next day by having other habits that we can implement in the morning so that our days can run smoothly. And so I hope that today, as we step into that morning routine, that we will have some more things that you can start implementing into your life. Hopefully you found something in your evening routine that you could do to start preparing yourself for the next day. And I do hope that some of those tips that I gave last week were helpful for you, or at least gave you some ideas of what you could maybe change if you already have an evening routine. And I know for me, my weeks have not been normal as I've been helping with my mom and moving her and doing the estate sale and all these different things. So my life has been a bit out of order, and I can tell you I feel it everywhere from even a little bit of my health journey not quite where it wants to be, and then my sleep has not been great, and even my routines in the morning and the evening have been off. And so I need this just as much as I'm sharing it with you. But I do hope that as we focus on this week, as we continue through this month, that it will be something that will help you and maybe give you a reset like I need, or maybe something that you can tweak or something you can change or add into your routines. So I'm excited to continue with you today, and I hope that as we step into this, you will find something that is new to you, or something that you want to implement, or something that you can share with a friend so that it will inspire them to also create those habits. Because I really do want each of us to live that full and flourishing life. And I know that once we implement these routines and habits and we make this part of our just go-to, when it just comes simply, it just comes out, and it's like clockwork, right? You don't have to think about it, and it just happens. That is the best way. It's the best feeling, because then your mind is clear and you're set up for success. So let's jump in today, and hopefully the morning routine will be a good next step for you. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. Hey, I wanted to just let you know that this week it's sponsored again by me. I don't have any other sponsors, but I want to make sure that I am sharing the different things that I have available to you. I've talked a lot about the last several months about my Done For You business. And one of the things that has been really fun is getting to know some of the products that they have available. So if you are someone that is an entrepreneur, or someone that is maybe a realtor or something like that, there are lots of different products that could help you in your business. And so I just want to let you know, when I'm talking about this Done For You business, you don't have to just do the business like I'm doing. There are all kinds of different products and things that can help you with your business. And so I will put a link in the show notes. If you are any type of entrepreneur, someone that is looking to maybe help with your social media, or maybe get some ideas or tips at how to reach your audience better, or oh my goodness, or you just want some healthy ways to live, or you want a spiritual journal or something like that. There's over 300 some products that they have available that you can grab from my store, and then I have some freebies too. So reach out to me. I won't talk anymore about it today, but I just want to make sure that you know that those are available to you, and I would love to help you find what you need. So reach out. Okay, so the morning routine. So whether you are a morning person or you're the one that hits the snooze over and over again, which I know I've talked about that before, how unbeneficial that is to you, we're going to still talk about that morning routine because I think that the more that we reframe our mind, first of all, about the morning and how we approach it, that will make a big difference. But then also, if we have things set in place that we know we're going to do in the morning, it will become easier. And so I want to talk about first, before we jump into some things you should implement, but we'll talk about some benefits of a morning routine. Because I think when we understand why it's important to us, sometimes that makes it maybe a little bit easier to actually do it or give you that motivation or I don't know, just a little bit more reason or assurance that, okay, you say it's a good, morning routines are good, but why? What does it do for me? So let's dive in and we'll talk about that. So, first of all, well, improved productivity. Did you know that morning routine can help you from wasting time and feeling overwhelmed? When you set a routine, you know exactly what needs to be done and you're able to tackle the tasks that are coming at you and be more efficient. When you have the morning routine, it gives that ease of flow. It's not so much of a reaction, but more action. We get to step into the things that we want to do, that we've planned to do, rather than just haphazardly going all over the place and just running around from one thing to another. And believe me, I've had all kinds of mornings that have been like that. When things are not in place, when they're not in order and they're not in routine, things get missed. We forget things, all the different things that could happen in the morning seem to happen when there's not a routine put in place. And sometimes our routine does get interrupted. We have a different time we need to leave in the morning, or like my Sundays are always different than the rest of my week because if I'm singing at church, I need to be at church earlier, and I don't always do the best at getting to bed early enough to do my normal morning routine on a Sunday morning. So these are things, again, I am still learning how to create and do. But for the most part, when I stick to that routine, I feel better. I just feel less cluttered, and I know that I can focus on what needs to be done because I have that clarity and my productivity is better because I've got a plan in place. And this last few weeks, like I said, I have been busy and my routine has been completely out of whack. Since I stopped going to the gym, I've noticed a difference because I had a certain time I needed to be at a place. And so I would have my workout done and then I would go and do some work. Everything was in order, but I've been different places. I've had to do different things. And so I have noticed the lack of productivity in a lot of areas for me. Now, I'm giving myself some grace because I've been doing a whole lot of other things that I normally don't do. But I do see that if I would be a little bit better with my habits and routines and planning, I would probably have a little bit easier mornings or not feel like I'm cramming in so much, because I think that's one thing is we do need to make sure as we go through this, we're evaluating how long things do take us to do so that we're not over scheduling, which is something that I do. But it will increase your productivity if you have a routine, if you have created those habits. In Proverbs 6:6-8, it says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." Those tiny ants, they know what they're doing, right? They have a plan. They know what to do. They're not being told what to do, but they have that plan. They know their habits, their routines are put together, right? We want to be at a place where not that we do things mindlessly, but that we just have that routine, that we don't have to think about it. No one has to tell us what to do. We get to just step in and do the things that are most important for us to do. Another helpful quote is from Mark Twain that says, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started," right? So keep that in mind as you're looking at that morning routine. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not every single habit needs to be put into place, but let's start with something. And so as I give some points a little bit later, I'm not going to give you everything to do for a morning routine because I think that would be overwhelming for a short podcast. But I think that even implementing one thing over time, you will be able to see the difference. So the next benefit is just a better mental health or clarity. A morning routine can help you feel more stable, more clear. It can reduce the stress and that anxiety that you could feel. Starting your day with calm and organized plan, it can provide that sense of control, that peace. Who else could use some peace in the morning? I know I could, right? We have that clarity. We don't have to second guess. And again, like I feel like they all kind of come in together. We're more productive, but we're also more clear. When we have that routine, when we know what's going on, all of those decisions, we have to make so many decisions so quickly throughout the day. But if we have some of these things already planned out, then that gives us that more sense of calm, more peace, like clarity, like we just do it. Like we get up and we brush our teeth, we do those things without even thinking about it, right? We know that there's certain parts of our day that we do without thinking. And so we want to help you create that for your morning routine so that it's just part of life, that it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. So hopefully this focus will help you see, and you'll start gaining more mental clarity and peace as you start your day. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." We want to have a clear and focused mind. And with a morning routine, there is that space for your mind to be clear and will allow for that overall better mental health. In Psalm 94:19, it says, "When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy." Right? So we know that as we are more at peace, if we're connected with the Lord, if we're directing like our path of the way that we want to go, that we're going to be able to have a clearer mind. We're going to have that peace of mind. And though we weren't talking specifically about scripture or anything at that time, we know that when our anxiety is high, we are not thinking clearly, but when we go to the Lord and we have that peace that he can provide for us, and we have that schedule or that clarity of what's ahead for us next, that anxiety goes down, and then we are filled with joy because we don't have all that angst against us. And of course, our ultimate joy comes from the Lord. But here, I just wanted you to see how much clearer your mind can feel as you have that routine and have something in place that allows you to move through your day well. Our third benefit is it's better for your physical health. Morning routine can be good for your health when you're focused on some type of movement in your body. So I wanted to preface this. I know we're talking about benefits first, but moving our body is going to be one of the things that I highly suggest that you do in the morning. But that is, as you are implementing those habits, one of those great things to implement in is movement of your body. And it doesn't have to be something crazy like a really big workout, but even just a little bit of stretching, a little bit of yoga or a walk, taking some time outside, like that will boost our energy. It will allow those endorphins, to have that positive tone for the day. And so as we implement a routine, we want to implement some way of moving our bodies so that we can, that will help with all the benefits of a clear and focused day. And our body has moved, we've stretched, we've been able to give our bodies time to wake up and to move and to create what we want for the day. Exercise not only changes your body, but it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. We get the opportunity to care for our body that's given to us by the Lord. Jim Rohn says, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." So let's add that physical movement into your day, and that will give you those benefits that will help you have a clear and focused and that flourishing life that we want to have. So though that is really kind of something that to add into your day, it also shows the benefits of having a morning routine, which allows you to move your body because you're implementing that in so that you can feel better, physically. I used to work a long time ago when I was in high school. And one of the first things we did, it was at a plant nursery, and we would start every day with about 5 minutes of like calisthenics. Most of the workers there were Hispanic, so they usually did all of it in Spanish. But I just remember like stretching to the toes, and it'd be uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, and we'd stand back up and touch those toes back and forth. And they would have you do all these different straight stretches, and I know, of course, that's that was a work routine. But again, it was a routine. We knew like they kind of did a couple announcements and then you would do those stretches. And before they started working, for 5 minutes, they would do that stretching. And I think that was really smart because you know, all the different people working all I was inside the nursery and I was cutting up barberries. If you ever done that, that is sticky and they hurt if you don't have your gloves on. You know, but people were in the fields, all different areas. And so that was something that always stuck out to me as something that was a routine that they added in. And it was moving your body. It wasn't hard. It was just stretching, but how much better you were ready to focus for the day when you had that. So the changes in your physical body by having a morning routine are very evident. And then the other one that I wanted just to highlight for today is just improve relationships. A morning routine can help you stay calm and peaceful so that those that you are living with, it could be more enjoyable with them. How many people, raise your hand, if you have had a stressful morning because you didn't have everything in place, maybe you woke up late or you didn't have everything in routine or you didn't have things set out for the day before, and you're running around like crazy, and you know that's the morning that you spill your whole water bottle as you were trying to put the lid on it. Done that because you're running around, you're frantically doing that, and then around the people that you were with, you're short with them, right? I mean, what happens when we are in stress, when we are in that overdrive mode, when we're in a hurry because we don't have things set in place? We get irritable, right? We get frustrated. And though we need to take full responsibility for the things that we've done, a lot of times we just react. And so the people that are around us, which are usually either our loved ones at home or our coworkers, you know, sometimes they get the brunt of it because we haven't had that time to be prepared for the day. And so as we step into a morning routine, it actually will help those relationships. It will help you not to frantically be running around, but have that more peace and calm so that you can greet the day. And as we talk about the different routines that you could add in, maybe you're even up and preparing yourself before the day starts so that by the time you are interacting with those loved ones around you, you've already been able to go through a lot of your routine. And so you're much more pleasant to be around when it comes. Ephesians 4:2-3 reminds us, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. And Mother Teresa says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. So I like those quotes, though they're not directly specific on a morning routine. It's about those relationships, you know, as we want to step into our morning routine and the things that we want to implement. We're just going to be just a better person to be around. And so I hope that those are just encouraging to you as we look at some of these benefits that could be part of this morning routine. You know, there are so many different other benefits of a morning routine, increased energy levels, you know, better focus, building good habits, getting better sleep. Yes, even getting better sleep when you have a morning routine. I'm not going to highlight on those and all the other things that we would benefit from it. But today I thought I would just focus on a few of them and let you know, yes, there are great, great benefits for having a morning routine. Okay, so now that we've talked about those benefits, let's dive into some key areas to focus on for the morning routine. Now, I know, like I said, there are so many different ones that we could implement in the morning, and I don't want to overwhelm you in this podcast. And so I'm just going to focus on a few of them today. Yeah, but I think that these are some that stood out to me that I thought might be good ones to start off with. So we'll jump in, but don't hate me for this first one, okay? My first suggestion is to wake up early. Aim to wake up a little earlier in the morning and do your best to try to wake up the same time every day and to establish that consistency. It might be tough at first, but it gives you more time for personal activities and sets that foundation for the day. So you want to implement this, but I highly recommend that you don't just say, okay, well, I'm usually up at 6:30 and I have all these things now that I'm wanting to add in, so I have to get up at 5:45. Don't just go right from 6:30 to 5:45, because guess what? you'll do it like the first couple days and then you'll be like, forget this, I'm not doing it again. And so my high suggestion is to do it by baby steps. Maybe if you're usually up at 6:30, maybe set that alarm for 6:15 or 6:20, like even those 10 minutes, and slowly back it in. Maybe do that for a week or so and then move it back another 10 or 15 minutes. Don't go from one to the other, because I think that's much more difficult. Some people like to rip off the Band-Aid. A long time ago, I did a morning study, and it was to start at 5:30 in the morning. And I don't think I even had any type of routine. And I do remember liking some of the benefits of getting up, but it was really difficult because I went to bed late. And so I was lacking sleep. And though I enjoyed being up and doing the study that I was doing, it was really difficult to maintain that habit. I wish that I would have known this earlier at that time, that I could have slowly worked myself up to getting up earlier, because it probably would have been a whole lot easier to do that. But so my biggest recommendation is, yes, let's work on waking up a little earlier and having that consistent wake up time. So obviously it won't be perfectly consistent as you are working toward that, but aiming at going to bed around the same time and waking up at the same time. And if you really are wanting to focus on getting the right amount of sleep, that might mean, okay, you're going to get up 15 minutes earlier. Do you need to go to bed 15 minutes? Do you need to go to bed 15 minutes earlier, right? So keep all of that in your mind as you're looking at your evening routine and your morning routine. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Benjamin Franklin. That's a popular one. But I think that has become more and more of something I'm understanding as I am getting getting older, I guess. I don't know. I've never been a morning person, but over the last few years, things have changed quite a bit. And now that I'm re-establishing my morning routine, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is I wake up and what time it is that I should go to bed. And so I can feel a lot of unrest in that. And so I am looking forward to continuing to focus on these routines so that I can establish the right bedtime and then the right rising time for myself. Psalm 5:3 says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." We want to rise up early. And I will talk about this in a minute, but starting our day off with the Lord on our hearts, on our minds as we're waking, because that will establish and set ourselves up great for the day. Another tip I have is hydration. This is not the first time that I've talked about this. And it probably won't be the last, but start off your day by drinking a glass of water in the morning before you have any of that caffeine, okay? After out those hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. So again, rehydrate before you have any caffeine. It's just a simple habit that can make a big difference and help you feel so much better and really charge you great for the start of your day. So I challenge you to try it for a week. If you don't mind lukewarm water, I don't. I want it really cold with lots of ice. But put a glass of water, next to your bed if you need to remind you to do the first thing. I know somebody else that said that they will put a glass of water right in the bathroom or like right next to their toothbrush, so that they know they usually brush their teeth as soon as they get up and go to the bathroom. So maybe that would remind them to drink their glass of water. So however you want to do it, but start adding in water. And if a whole glass of water is too much, again, do those baby steps. So maybe do, a little bit of water and then add a little bit more, but work on trying to get in that water before that caffeine. Let's rehydrate your body with what it needs. And you will see a difference. I promise you. So I challenge you to do that for 1 week and see if you think you would notice. I saw this quote by nutritionist Rania Badanea. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I don't know her, but I really like the quote. It says, "Drinking water first thing in the morning can help fuel your brain." I love that. And Medical News Today said, "Drinking water may help increase mental performance, specifically in the morning." So drink that water, okay? So that was number 2. Next up is move your body. See, I told you I was going to bring it up. Get into that physical activity. Take in some form of exercise to get the body flowing. It could be a jog or yoga, a workout video, or a brisk walk. The walk would be awesome if your area allows for it, if it's not too cold, or if you're not a baby like me and like the cold weather. But even if you could do that outside, that'd be even better because you'd get the outdoors, you get that fresh air, and you'd be able to get in some movement. But find a way to do something to move your body. It boosts those endorphins. It gives you those higher energy levels, and it gives you that positive tone for the day. It just energizes you. And I know sometimes we think, oh, I don't have the energy to exercise. But you know what usually happens after you exercise? You get that boost of energy. You actually have more energy after you've worked out. So I highly recommend to find some way to implement some type of movement into your morning. Exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. Don't you just love that? And then of course there's 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 that says, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. We use this quote a lot when we're talking about how we're fueling our body, how we're taking care of our body. And it's important because moving our bodies is part of that too. God gave us a body that moves, and he wants us to use our body in a way that will honor him. And so moving your body in some way, again, if walking, if these type of big movements are hard for you, start small. Stretch, do the calisthenics like I did with my job when I was in high school. Stretch and just reach your toes. Do one push-up against the wall. It doesn't have to be a lot, but find some ways to implement some movement into your body. And then another thing that I think is so important is to have a mindfulness practice or a little bit of Bible reading. Spend a few moments meditating or on quiet reflection on the Lord. It helps increase your focus, it reduces the stress, and will set that, again, a calm for your day. Have you found that this is a common theme, right? That calm, that peace, to have our day start that way. Even if it's just a few deep breaths while you're still in bed, it can make a world of difference. Invite the Lord into your day as you start the day. Maybe recite a verse or two before you jump out of bed and start doing all those things that you want to do. Take a few moments and invite him into your day. Then maybe find some other time in the morning to study his word, do a little bit of a Bible study. And we've talked about a lot of these things on the podcast before because we know how important it is to invite the Lord into our day. But we want to make sure that we're growing in him, that we're spending that time allowing him to fill us up. But just having those few moments to reflect on him before, even if you do that before you get out of the bed, in just a quick little prayer and maybe reciting a verse or two, or find a verse or two that you want to memorize and just recite that before you wake up in the morning or before you get up in the morning. Matthew 11:28 says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Starting your day with scripture and prayer can bring that peace and clarity. Finding a way to go to him, breathe in that breath of fresh air, the breath of, fresh air that he provides for you. It gives you that peace, that calm, and that clarity that you need. So I only focus on a few things today, and some of them kind of even overlapped with the benefits and what to do. There's so many more things that I would recommend to add to your morning routine, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. So it was just a little bit of an overview. I'm continuing to work on my self-care course, and I'll have the whole course directed around creating healthy habits to take care of you. And part of that is the evening and morning routine, and part of it is other habits that we will talk about through the rest of the month. But we want to make sure that you are establishing that full and flourishing life. And one of those great ways is to be able to step into a morning routine and implement some of these things that are important, that will help fuel your day, help give you that clarity and peace that you need to be able to do the things that are important to you throughout the day. So I would love to know what is one of these areas that you would like to implement first, or what is the benefit that most surprised you, or the benefit that you hope that you gain by making some changes in your morning routine. I would love for you to message me back, either DM me, write me back an email, send me a message on @steph.book on Instagram, or jump into our Flourish group on Facebook and send me a note there. I would love to hear if this is helpful at all to you, or what is something that you were wanting to work on next. I feel like I've been a little bit scattered because I've been so busy with my life, but I do have some big goals, and I'm excited about the things that will come forward as we continue on through the rest of the year. But I do hope that what I've shared today, there's something there, some nugget, something that I have shared that will help you with your morning routine. But most of all, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. If I shared a lot of different things today of things that you could do, but I want to make sure that you see that these are habits we're creating. And so it might take some time, and it's okay. It's okay if you don't do all the things at once, because that could be overwhelming. And I don't want you to be at a spot where you do a few things and you give up because it's too much. So I highly recommend that you just do baby steps, slowly adding in a few things every as you go, not every day, but a few things as you go. As you create one habit, then you can build on that habit or add in something new. So as always, please share this with anyone that you think it would help or encourage. And I would love feedback from you, because I want to make sure I'm delivering content that you actually want to hear, that's something that you want, that is helpful for you or for somebody else. I so appreciate you listening, and I hope that you have a fabulous morning or evening, depending on when you're listening to this. And please join us next week as we will jump into the next area of our September focus. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and would love, love, love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.